Hello and welcome everybody. We're going to be doing some paper pumpkin crafting today. Let me message my sister. She's going to check out my audio because we had a little drama on my last stream. Hopefully she's still around. She's been a trooper. She's been hanging out all day waiting for this. Okay, not really. I've been waiting all day for her to be ready to wait for me. Okay, so I just told her that we are live and come on in and find me, hun. So I'm currently streaming to YouTube, to Twitch, and to my Facebook page for the crafting. And if you happen to pop on here before Sissy does, let me know if you can hear me because that was the issue on the last one. And it was really embarrassing to get through an hour and a half. My mic bar is jumping all over the place just like normal. Not a single sound on the entire live. All right, so while we're waiting for her, let's go ahead and shift into crafting mode. And I'm going to show you what we're going to be playing with here today. This is the Exploring in Color. It's actually the May 2023 Paper Pumpkin. These cards are absolutely gorgeous. And the way that they are designed to be made is that these fold in half. But of course, if you have seen me at all, you know that I never put these together the way that they're supposed to. So we're going to be cutting them up and making something completely different out of it. But even the envelopes in these are amazing. This one has little buffaloes on it. We have mountains. And this one looks so much like where I live. I mean, this is like my biome. And then also in this kit we have copper clay ink. And we have other little bits and bobs that I'm going to drag out of here so we can grab them at will and put them in our cute card designs. Some sentiment bars and some twine. I love the box for this one too. I'm going to actually, usually I recycle these. This one I'm going to keep and become something different. And it looks like my screen froze. Well, you know, if I'm not having audio drama, I need to have a video drama. Okay, I just got a message from her. She's coming in. Yep. Now we're looking for my phone, which means I'm off network. Super. All right, we're switching back to this one for a minute while I troubleshoot what's going on up here. Sorry about this, guys. I mean, this is horrible. And, yep, disconnected. I am also working with a different webcam than I don't know. I'm still in search of a really good webcam app. I won't tell you what this one is that I'm currently using, just because if it is the app, I don't need to be spreading the negativity. Come on. On my internet. And hopefully it'll stay there. This all works really good, you know, when somebody can't connect, that we can connect to each other, but it's not supposed to just go all willy-nilly and rogue whenever it wants to. All right. Okay, I think we're good. We're back where we started? Yes, okay. So, Paper Pumpkin. Yes, it's called Exploring in Color. It was the May 2023 Paper Pumpkin. Absolutely beautiful. And we are going to chop it up and put it back together in ways that it wasn't designed to be. But that's the beauty of the Paper Pumpkin. It's up to you how you want to work with it. I love doing alternate designs. And I can usually get a lot more cards out of my kit. Um, it's set to do 9. I'm going to get at least 18 out of here, maybe more. All right, so I brought some other pieces with me today. This is out of the new catalog, our 2023 to 2025 in color twine pack. I also got the new in color designer series paper. You can see all the different colors here on the edge. And then there's also a luster paper. This stuff is really pretty special. It is a specialty decorative paper, and it's kind of a, and you're going to laugh when you hear this term, it's a matte shimmer. There you can see how it just, it's got this cool luster, and that's why they call it luster paper. And then the other thing that I brought with me, of course, is our new in color cardstock, and we're going to start with that. So let's just grab one of each color. We're going to cut some card backs. All right, so when I'm cutting cards, I like to do my scoring first because I can kind of do it 2 at a time that way. So I'm scoring down the long side at 4 1/4 inches. And I'm just going to score them and move on, and then we'll cut them all at once. Kind of going to show you guys how I batch my cards. I like to actually put things together when I'm like hanging out, watching movies and series, and I can't do this part while I'm sitting there watching stuff, but I can put them together because I have a tendency to spread out too much when I'm starting to put things together and basing out my designs. So, okay, now I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to actually cut it at 5 1/2. And that's going to give us 2 card bases. The new in color is really beautiful, isn't it, Katie? I just love, love, love this. Especially this one. This is the Moody Mauve. I think it is my favorite color that Stampin' Up! Has out right now. Although I don't not like any of them. And you know, I'm not a big blue person, but I really even, this boho blue is super nice. It's just subdued and sophisticated. There are a few of these, actually probably most of them, unfortunately, that are going to need a writing panel because they're just a little darker than what I want anybody to have to read what I wrote on. But that's okay. Writing panels give your cards a little more upscale look anyway. Alright. So let's cut up some of these. We'll just grab one of each one. And I know that I want, I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half. That way I can measure it off on here. And I'm going to cut off at least 1/4 of an inch. Some of these I'll probably end up cutting off more. And then I'm going to take them down 1/4 of an inch across. So I'm going to take it across the top or the bottom. I'm thinking the bottom. So that these are going to measure 5 1/4 by 4 when I'm done. Alright, now we have 2 panels. And when I'm prepping these, I usually do, I make pretty short work out of it. It's just, I've got a stack of cardstock, I get it cut down, I cut down the cards, just boom, boom, boom. Because what I really want to get onto is the fun part that's laying out the actual designs. And, well, that's a hard choice. I want to keep as much of that path, so I think we'll take that one off the top. Maybe this one off the bottom. Okay, so let's see what we have in here in our in colored DSP. Oh, you know what? There's also that gingham plaid. Let me think about where I put that. A second, I think it's back here in the cupboard. Then I get a peek into like, this is like my crafty brain back here. Okay, here's the gingham. There it goes. I'm pretty sure we've got, these are not in colors that are in the glorious gingham, but there are colors in here that are going to coordinate really nicely. Like this is a pecan pie, this is one of the new colors. Maybe even the berry burst. Do we have any berries, pinks? No. But our blueberry bushel will definitely coordinate with that as well. And maybe even the pretty peacock. We'll hold that one out just in case. Alright, so we have those 3, and then in the designer series paper there is 2 different patterns. The reverse are 2 different patterns. But I'm really kind of feeling, I think this one is the one that looks like it's going to coordinate the best with the painterly look here. Okay, so our Moody Mauve we won't be using because I just didn't see anything that really coordinated. Well, I guess that bush has some mauve in it though. Now that I get to looking, they did use all 5 of the colors. It's just subtle. All right, we'll just be careful how we use it so that we don't look like it's not supposed to be there. All right, and some of these we're going to cut in half again. We'll pair them up with some of the DSP. It'll be fabulous. And we've also got our Lester paper. So let's go ahead and do, I think I want to do a 4-inch, maybe a 2-inch swath of that. And this is me crafting without a plan. This is what I do to sit down and create class projects. You guys you're seeing start to finish now. Well, you're seeing the start. Hopefully we'll get to the finish on some of them. But this is how I work. It's not all, oh, everything is just gelled in my head and let's put this together and it's perfect. This is a lot of, ooh, this looks good together and let's try that. So that's what we're doing today. Well, I think I want to go, maybe I should do some of those sideways. I'm going to turn a couple of them sideways and I'm just going to take like 2-inch swaths off the side of the 6x6 paper. So I guess in seeing me do this, the one thing that I do want to impart to you is don't be afraid of your craft supplies. You can't mess this up. You seriously can't. Paper is so forgiving. And if you don't get discouraged and you just keep going, it will be absolutely beautiful. You will love it when you get done. Don't ever be hard on yourself. I know we're all our own worst critics, but you don't have to be. And anybody that you are making cards for, unless you're making them professionally to sell, already loves you. And they are not going to be critical. They're going to be absolutely thrilled that you made them a super cute card. Alright, so we've got some little scraps here. We've got our backgrounds. Oh, I know what else I want and need. We need our writing panels. We might even be able to use these too. We could make cute little picture frames for our designs. So our writing panels I'm going to cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And this is just very vanilla cardstock. And I have a new cutting blade in there, so I am not afraid to cut 2 pieces of cardstock at once. And that's also the reason why I have to put new blades in a lot, because I do cut 2 pieces of cardstock at one time. Alright, so there are maybe we should just cut all of that down. We're going to use some of this as a little bit of an exterior frame for our pretty landscape panels too. And if you mess up the dimensions of these, that's okay, because we use all kinds of different sizes when we're doing this. I'm just showing you one way to do it right now. And if you're feeling super brave, you can even put them in there side by side, cut more at one time. There are all kinds of little tips and tricks and hacks to do this the fastest way possible. So if you don't think that you have time to sit down and make a card, my best advice to you is don't overthink it. You don't have to spend a half hour agonizing over one card. You can probably make a dozen in that time, or at least get them lined out so that you can go back and sit in front of the TV and watch a story and make your actually put them together then. Right, so what I'm going to do is just lay out one of each of our colors here. The one thing that I do check on this is that you want the longer side to be to the front. So the longer side is actually in the back right now, so the card isn't opening, but once I turn it around, see how easily that opened? So that's one thing, do check that. Down. I think this whole stack is just flipped. Yep. And there. Okay. I'll pull those down a little bit so that you can see them. So there's 3, 4, 5. Alright, I know that I want one of these panels as the background, little border on all of these. So we'll just start off with that. And then we have these pieces. Now these are cut to the same size as our vanilla cardstock, so we're going to have to cut them down just a little bit more, and that's okay. We can take them down to 3 3/4 by 5, or we can even leave a little bit more. And I think on some of these, that's actually what I'm going to do, because we'll come in here like this and make this more of a little vignette. Could even play around with some of our lusters in the background, bring in some other colors. And do something like this. Okay, so let's put a couple together like that. We'll use the gingham on this one. And I'm kind of feeling the pecan gingham with the moody mauve. Right there. I definitely think that one and that one need to be done with the grays and the blues. Those are really intense. Oh, that one. I like the gingham. This is even better, because we've got the buffaloes that tie into the pecan. We've got the little tint that ties into the mauve. Loving it. Okay, that one there. That one will go with our next batch. Those two together. Those two. And this is what I mean when I say don't overthink it. If you sit here and stare at it and it's like, oh my goodness, which one goes with which paper? You're going to be here all day. You don't have to be, unless you absolutely want to, and then hey, go for it. But outside is calling me. Not that I don't want to be here with you guys, but it's summertime, you know, I want to show you how to still be able to enjoy your craft and get to the stuff that we can only do part of the time. All right, so here's this card. Everything on it is of course way too big right now, but we're going to work through these now one by one, and we're going to cut them down, make them all a little different and interesting, and, then we'll put them back together. So on this one, we're going to take it, and I'm not real precise when I measure. You saw me just mark that with my fingernail. That's how I work. So that's like an inch that we're going to take off of that one. This one we will take back a little bit farther, so we're going to take like an inch and a half off of that one. And I save all those little scraps for other projects. Alright, so this one I do want to measure just a little bit more than the others. I'm going to cut the tree off or the ground, or maybe split the difference. We could do like 3/4 of an inch on each end. Let's do that. And then we will have these fantastic little pieces that we can use somewhere else too. Alright, now we also need, oh, I'm loving that. Okay, we're going to need to come in about here on that one. Take an inch off of that. And there's our first card. Alright, let's work on our blue one. Kind of going to do it a little bit differently. Let's see. Her ruler here. I have a different picture in my head for this one. So let's make sure that I do get the dimensions right on that. There. Alright, so we're going to take a 1/2 inch off this one. Start with that. Don't want to take those rocks, so we're going to take the sky off of this one. Yeah. Alright, now I think the next one will be 1.25 inches. And 1.25 inches off of this one as well. So this one will line up here in the corner. This one we will stagger down, and you can't see this because it's out of your view. Swoop into zoom mode. And then we're going to do this. So this will all get framed up here in the corner, so you're just seeing a little bit of it. And now I will take 1/2 inch off that side. And there we've laid out our second card. Okay, so I'm just going to set these aside as we get them based. And Then when we come back through with our next pass, we'll decide on what kind of twine, what kind of embellishments, we'll get them glued together. But right now we're just quick, quick, quick getting them so that they look cool. Alright, this one we're going to kind of do the same technique, but we're going to do it from the bottom, like so. Alright, I'll zoom back out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. And I really don't want to lose either the tent or the buffalo. So I think I'm just going to take that up through there, maybe cut off a little bit here on the bottom. And I think a 1/2 inch on either side is going to be perfect. Okay, so this one, let's cut it. This one is 4 inches. We'll take this one down to 3.5. And then same on the luster. That way we can stagger them in the back. And this one will sit here like so. This just gives a little extra interest, and we can even raise these up with some dimensionals. That's really going to pop that forward. All right, 2 more under here. Kind of seeing a triptych on this one. I think I'm going to take a little bit off of this side. I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off the side of that, and then I'm going to cut this into 3 panels. All right, so now that is 3.5 inches. So each of my panels is going to be 1 inch, and of course I had to cut it into a 1/2 instead of 3/4. We'll make it work. I think this last one is just a little bit wider. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that just a scotch. Beautiful. Love it. Alright. So now we have this cool triptych look there. And we should put that through the back behind. Yeah, we're gonna have to take a little bit off the bottom of that too, or maybe we don't have to. It would look kind of cool to be at the same level as the vanilla background. But I think I only want that showing. Okay, think. Maybe what I want to do on that one is forego the pebbled path altogether. Let me cut this one down into 5 1/4. Now this is the same length as our vanilla. Right. And we've got one piece here. One piece here. The other one. Like so. And I do kind of like that. Something else that looks really cool too, if you cut these smaller or you've got a narrower piece, you can still triptych them and then let them run amok, because you still get the same kind of look, only now it's a little more edgy. Alright, so this one may continue to evolve once we get to gluing it down and committing to it, but for right now, I'm happy with that. We'll set it aside. And this one, as I'm coming back to it now, I'm not absolutely loving the wild wheat luster with the wild wheat cardstock. So I am just going to grab something else. Maybe we'll use this pebbled path that we passed on the last one, because that is kind of an interesting look with the crosshatch lines going in different directions. Hey Katie, I didn't think you were even there anymore. I knew you were making dinner, but I thought you like lost me, or I lost you. Trying to decide what I want to do here, because I want to do something a little bit different, not quite the same. We could do a triptych through the middle of that too. That could look kind of cool with the buffaloes. Let's try that. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, so this one is 5 1/4. Excuse me. It's going to need to be 5, which means I'm not doing the math in my head. Oh, so good today. Hey, Katie, grab your phone. What is 5 divided by 3? I'm going to go ahead and take that strip off of there so that it is exactly 5. And we're going to wait for Katie to tell us what's 5 divided by 3. I guess I could pull up my calculator here on the screen too. Well, 1.67. Okay. And 1.67, 1 2/3 when you're working with eighths is a lot of fun. So we're going to eyeball it right about there. Good. All buffalo in one. Yay. That was almost perfect. So like 1 and 11/16. Got it. Thank you. Alright, and this one, because we've got the jagged mountains, we've got the buffalo, you know, when buffalo walked across the plains, you would feel that rumble. I'm going to stagger these a little bit just to give us that edge, and which means I'm going to have to cut them all down just a little bit, but we'll take some off of the top and the bottom and leave the middle. I think that's the most important with our buffaloes on there. So it looks like we need to take like 1/4 of an inch off of each. Taking it from the top of the top one, the bottom of the bottom one. And once we get it going a little bit jagged, I don't think you're even going to notice that the middle one is a different size. This is there's a lag. There usually is. It's been a while since I streamed regularly, but I do remember that lag. And we can even overlap these too if we need to. That would look kind of cool. And it will also help take the visual effect away if you are seeing any of the slight difference in size that we have now. So there is that one based out. Okay, so we have one panel left. We've got a little bit of scrap here. I'm going to continue to cut this down further. But in the meantime, let's grab some more of these. So we only cut down one of each. And that got us 5 cards. So taking these, just taking 1/4 of an inch off of the side. And Katie, you've already made some of these, haven't you? Right, you already played with this kit a little bit. Okay. 4 inches. So we're going to turn these sideways and take some 4-inch pieces off of there. 4 by, what do you think, maybe 1.5 inches? Have you ever played with a one-sheet wonder? That is where you take one sheet of DSP and you cut it up into different shapes and sizes, and there's all kinds of different patterns that people use, so they end up with a predetermined set of shapes and then create a set amount of cards out of it. I have done some of those. I think the thing that I find limiting is that it's a pattern, and I end up doing that anyway. Oh, I think we just lost my video. So I end up doing the same kind of philosophy, but more freeform. All right, come on. Okay. Let me see if we're on the same internet here. I knew it was too good to be true. I thought we were going to be drama free now, but no. Right. So, internet is my phone on. Come on, find home. The buffalo in the canoe is the one they, that you've been playing with. That is a really good one. Okay. That looks like it's steady again. For now. There we go. We're back. So let's lay out our other 5 cards once. See, all the cards are a little different, but they all kind of stay with the same theme when you're working with the same types of papers, the same background, and then you can just go wild and they all still flow together really nicely. So if you were going to make a set of these as a gift for somebody, this would be a really fun way to do a set of cards where all the cards wouldn't be alike. They'd all be a little bit different. These, I think I'm going to end up, we could cut those up even more. We also have these other fun little elements I forgot about over here. Okay. So this one, I kind of think I want to cut it in half. And right now it's almost at 4, so let's take 2 inches. Not sure what I want to do with these yet. Just kind of playing around with them, putting them in different positions. Maybe I want a longer one there. Okay, then we can put our sentiment bar there. All right, so there's one. And then our other piece. So like I told you, we are going to get at least 18 cards. So now we're going to get at least 19 cards. This one, I think I want to put right in the middle, like so. And we're going to cut this one in half. And that'll tuck in on either side of this panel. I do really like this one with the canoe and the tent because they have the most the most mauve in it, and I'm a pink girl. That one's pretty too, though. Alright, let's. This one, what do we want to do with that? I don't want to. The canoe kind of needs that space, that implied distance, so we need to leave this one as intact as possible. Could do something like that there. Could even, oh, I like this. I'm going to cut that in half. And then once we get the canoe cut down, we'll have this piece in here behind. And then we'll have another one behind up here, just a little bit staggered. Let's do, I think that one fits really well with this. Ooh, I know what I want to do with that. Do you remember the old photo corners? Let's do photo corners with the luster paper. That'll look really cool. And then we can tuck another piece of paper in there in between. So photo corners, and we'll make it look kind of like Grandma's old photo album. Alright, now I think that one needs, got a lot of the blue here. I want to use the wheat because that's going to be too much yellow. And we're going to have to cut the sky out of that one because we can't lose that path. We got to keep that path. Like that one. Okay. Thinking about it too much. We'll do kind of what we're doing on the other one, only we're going to go the other direction. And then this will be in there. Okay. All right, so on this one we have our two little back pieces that we're going to use as our frame, which means now we just have to decide how much to cut and where of our path. And I think I'm really loving this part of the mountain much more than this, so I'm willing to sacrifice that and the top. And we're going to take a half inch off the side. I think 3/4 of an inch off the top. Okay. There's our half. Yeah, 3/4. There we go. All right, and this one is going to be our photo corners. We can make those. I gotta just fold a piece of stuff up here for a minute and remember how to do that. I think it's just, yeah. All right, so we need like an inch and 1.25 by half. So I'm going to just cut some 1/2 inch pieces off the end of this. We need 4 of them. Now we could fold these on our own. I'm trying to decide if it would be best to do that or to score it. We're going to need to score at a 45-degree angle. I think we can just freeform these. So these are a little bit longer than what I actually need, but I want to be able to trim the backs off after we get them looking like I want them. Okay, so this is the part that we're going to use to slip around the corner like so. And we're not going to have to trim that. We can just slide it right in there like so. Awesome. I like it. And we need a total of 4 of those. They kind of do. I mean, except for the color. If we had used the pebbled path luster instead of the wild wheat, they probably would have looked like the old photo corners because they were kind of that dark gray color and a little bit shiny, but not really shiny. Alright, so now we just have to decide exactly how big this is going to be. So I'm thinking maybe take a 1/2 inch off one side, maybe a 1/2 inch off the bottom. Because we're going to lose this to the corners anyway. So let's just take that little bush out. And then we want to keep the mountain. Let's take it off of the side with the tree. And then we'll have our photo corners. Photo corners, if you just wanted to do 2, you could do that too. I am going to use 4. And it will sit here like this and look like there's a little piece of paper tucked behind there, like maybe there's a note talking about the place that photo is taken of. My grandparents' photo albums used to be full of stuff like that, and I absolutely loved going through them because I could pull out all those little pieces of paper and read those notes. And it was a lot easier for them to do that than, I mean, they were written on the back too, but to get them out of their little photo corners was kind of tricky sometimes. Alright, this one we're going to do a little bit, we could do like a frame border like that too. That's kind of cute. That way we can take off, let's take a 1/4 inch off the side and looks like 3/4, no, 1/2 inch off the top. Alright, now we can put that straight across like so. It makes a little vignette. this one, all we need to do is to cut an inch off each of the glue strips. And this will go maybe a quarter of an inch off that one too. And I'm kind of thinking it needs to come off the top. There's that one. Alright, this one is fun because it's just all tucked in there. How do I want to do all of that? That one's perfect the way it is. This one will take 3/4 inch off. Probably should split that between the water and the sky though. Alright, and then we need like an inch and a quarter off of this one. Yeah. That's what I want to do. Yeah. And then we'll have a sentiment bar across the bottom of that. Okay, so I'm not sure how long we've been streaming, about an hour. We based out 10 cards. And have you guys had enough for today, or should we put some together? We could stream again in a couple days, and we'll work on these and do some embellishments and stuff. And play with some of the twine. I've also got some of the new in color ribbon, and then we will get to stamping. So I've given you a little bit of a glimpse into my process when I'm coming up with cards for the store and cards to teach. And let's go through the pile again and show you what we have. I'm gonna get zooming on them. All right, so we've got one, getting stuck in my photo corner back there. Let go. It's friendly. And this is our Thunder Mountain card. There we go. That one even has a name. This one we could go at an angle if we wanted to, but I'm really kind of thinking I like that one. Just plain triptych. I love a good 3-panel painting card. Just I think the concept is so cool. And see, this one has scooched sideways a little bit. I'm actually not hating that. I'm kind of loving it. And this one. So the next thing I'm going to show you, let me grab on the backs of the DSPs, the 12 by 12 sheets, is a piece of white plate. semi-gloss cardstock. I cut these into panels, so this is 12 inches wide. Let's get out of the zoom mode. This is 12 inches wide and 12 inches long and 4 inches wide. And then I score this at like 5.5 inches from both sides, so it's got an inch gusset. You can do this with any leftover heavy card type stock too. So you end up with this just little U-shaped thing. So the way that I store the cards that I get all based out and I'm ready to go with is I slip those right in there like that. I can put them with the stamp set that I'm going to use for any embellishments that I think that I want to work with, and just like tuck it with the folder, and then these sit on my shelf. So I've got everything, and when I sit down to do something in the evening, I just grab that little pile of stuff off the shelf and take it with me. So that is how I keep everything all straightened up while it's waiting for me to come back to it. And that way I don't forget to what I was going to do with it. So I hope that you've enjoyed um, this little session. We'll probably do another one maybe Tuesday evening or Wednesday. We will see how things go. But we will finish these cards and do something totally cute with them, and maybe by then I'll also have some other ones that are finished up to show you as well, because I'm thinking I'm going to stay in the same theme. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me. I had a lot of fun with you today. Katie, I'm glad you got your dinner made. And I will see you guys later. Bye.